Kalimera, Kalispera, whatever time you're watching. This is Mappa. I'm Stel. I've got Thassos here. Young man, how is one?
Young man. Oh, God. Young man. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was your Easter? But our one isn't till this weekend,
Yep,
and the everyone else's is just gone.
yep.
So, how was
How was?
your non-Greek Easter? I guess.
Well, I was on holiday. As you can see, I am now back in the basement. As everybody can see, I'm back in the usual place. At least the people that are watching, anyway. And I've got the Van Gogh in the corner there. Yeah, it was nice. I think I'm Mavri Leon, but just a little bit. But yeah. What about you?
Enough.
What you been doing?
Just trying to stay on top of everything, to be honest, mate. A lot's been happening in Cyprus, as you know, on and off the pitch. Uh, Mate, you know what? I can't keep up with it. I really can't. It's so difficult because it's almost as if you could go a day without anything, and then the following day there's two or three different stories. Obviously, the league is split, so we've got Group A and Group B, and there's been a lot of Group B games too have happened today. So as we record this on Wednesday at approximately 7:15 in the evening UK time, 8:15 your time, and
That's
9:15
9
Cyprus
your
time.
time.
Yeah, two more games have been played today, which we're going to touch on very briefly. But we've got a video package of the goals. There's been a lot of Group B games, a lot going on. So I don't really want to use up a lot of our time of this particular podcast talking about all of those games. So what, as I said, I've got a highlights package of various goals, various incidents, and we'll just go through that right now. And let's talk about the first game. Unorthodoxy beating Ale. No, I can't even say that properly. I can't even get the words out.
Ael,
Unorthodoxy
man.
beating AL. There you go. Unorthodoxy beating AL 2-0 at the Alpha Mega Arena. No rain, or so it seems. Guerrero and Helder Ferreira with the goals there for Anorthosi. And it looked pretty comfortable for him, in all fairness. The highlights, obviously, I haven't put them here, but Anorthosi had two big chances and they scored both of their chances. And obviously, with Guerrero joining them in January, I bet they wish they'd have signed him sooner, to be honest. So what do you reckon?
No, man. The strike force that they brought in January basically corrected whatever issues that they were having beforehand. If you're having to start with players like Waris and Minga, then as people have found out, it's a problem. Whereas now, you've got like this attacking talent at place, and now all they got to do is stop shipping goals. Obviously, they did all right with it against Ajax, but most teams have done all right with it against Ajax. Um, but as well, I mean, we should point out that Janevski made a load of changes. Oh, well, okay, we've gone to the next game.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but yeah,
Olympiacos nil, Paralimni nil,
yeah,
nothing really to report there. So I'll let you
yeah.
carry
No,
on
no,
talking about
nothing
Orthodoxy, mate.
happened in that game, so it's fine.
Literally
Um,
nothing. I think there was
yeah,
like three clips.
yeah. It's really annoying, man. That those two teams should have done something and they didn't. But anyway, um, yeah. So Yaneski's resting players for the cup game against Olympiacos,
Hmm.
and obviously um, injury crisis. It's been an injury crisis since August at AL, and it continues. Players like Kachanik Click are now out for 6 months. A lot of other stuff happening in there. Um, the one thing that I noticed about Unorthodoxy today, not today, the IL game, was they played Geravnos in goal, and they kept a clean sheet instead of playing Loria. Like, well, exclaimed silence. I've been going on about playing Geravnos instead of Loria this whole time, and look, they're playing for once, and there's a clean sheet. Um, yeah, the goals are great teamwork goals that we saw, and Isle were basically just observers at the game. There wasn't anything for them to. They didn't do anything.
No, nothing really. Not again. I think there was a header which the goalkeeper saved, but they're in holiday mode at the moment anyway, and obviously there's a lot of uncertainty with a potential takeover at the moment. We're hearing stories about potential German investors, various things that we hear left, right, and center. People asking us questions. We don't know the full story. We know a few names have been thrown about in terms of potential candidates to replace Jan Nevsky, if there's any truth in that. But we're not going to speak on it because obviously it's all conjecture. It's all speculation for now. But let's continue with these highlights, mate, because as we were saying, nothing happened in this game. Olympiacos Paralimni, no one really got anything out of this one. No one's probably happy with the result. In fact, the only people that are happy, I guess, are the fans who, I don't know, what found 2 hours of their time to waste. But this one was a cracker. Salamina beating Garmiodisa 1-0. 3 disallowed goals. 1 from Doragaray, 2 for what's his name now? Chico Banza. A potential penalty given and then overruled, foul on Lukili, which he then decided to take out his frustration later on, which we're gonna see in a bit.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Doragaray scoring the winner, but yeah, if you watch the highlights, you thought it was an end-to-end game. It really wasn't great, in all fairness. The highlights did it more justice than it should have done. In fact, it's kind of like the Wonder Bra of football. In all fairness, it gives you a full sense of security. But again, it wasn't a great game. But the incident which we're about to see, obviously, this is the goal, one of the Banza's first goal, which was disallowed for offside, and rightly so. They got the lines correct.
No problem there.
no problem. Yeah, but this Lukili getting sent off for throwing the ball.
What is? So basically, he gets the red card for what that Turkey defender got done for when he threw the ball at Rivaldo's leg.
Rivaldo,
Cup. Yeah, remember? He basically did that to the guy. Oh my goodness! Took his full pelt at the guy's face. Clean peeled it off. It's. I mean,
when I say unintentional, that is literally foul throw.
It's I don't even know why it went to VAR. Did it go to VAR because the referee was just going to allow it? That's unbelievable if he was going to allow that. Like the assistant refs hadn't said anything about it or anything like that. Unbelievable if that was the
Lukili sarcastically applauding the referee as well.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna like to see in a couple of weeks what Vriodidis has to say about that. But yeah.
Right. Agrida lost 2-1 to Doxa. A fantastic opening goal though. Fantastic strike.
Great.
Honestly,
finish.
man, like when you hit balls like that, Gabriel, when you hit balls like that, I don't think he's going to get a better goal like that, to be honest. Well, not this season anyway. But as we keep saying time and time again, Doxa getting the victory thanks to Ernest Asante, who scored one, made one. Again, this guy deserves a pay rise. They need to give him a new contract. They need to do all they can to keep him because he deserves it, man.
I need to talk about Bendrell.
Go on.
There's a specific moment. Why the Doxa fans celebrating? But yeah, there's a specific moment that you can pinpoint the exact moment where he goes, I fucked up here. When he comes out for that ball, it's like he had no business jumping for it. He had no business whatsoever jumping for it. And I think he just in the highlights alone, there's 3 mistakes from him. Now you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I know. Onodi.
Play on Onodi, you fucking cowards! For God's sake, just give him a chance. Bendrell keeps dropping clangers, but obviously Doxa deserved the win in the end. This is today's highlights that have come up.
Today's highlights, 2-0 victory for Garmiodisa at home to AEL. 2 goals from Galtsa. And Garmiodisa are on their 7th head coach of the season, my friend. There's that lovely church that you see when you're driving down the highway.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Gadsas showed up today. Ireland's defenders could not deal with him at all. Like
No.
both his goals as well were class goals. It's
Yeah,
not like
absolutely.
it's like somebody on Twitter mentioned to me that somebody the wouldn't kill them with me. I'm like okay, but also if it was a fix, they hit it well. They hit it very well because
Yeah.
the 2 goals that Gads has scored, they're not exactly flukes. That looping header, Oliveira wasn't going to get anywhere near it,
No.
and the finish as well on the counter attack was a really good chance for him. We're going through the games quite quickly. I'm guessing you want to talk about the new stuff after we've gone through all the games then.
Yeah, I think we'll
Yeah.
do that. I think
Yeah.
we'll do that because the next game which I'm about to bring up is Anorthosis losing 3-2 at home to Agrida. Guerrero scoring again for Anorthosis. Well, he scored the second goal. Christophe gave them the lead. Then Gone scored, Eraso scored, Vasco Lopez scored for Agrida, and then Guerrero scored the penalty at the end. But the one thing that I shouldn't really laugh, but bala.com.cy basically put the headline Resiliquia to describe this game. And for those of you who don't understand, that's the word for the ultimate embarrassment. Their article basically said, I'm going to try and translate it as best I can. The 3 games that Anorthosis have faced, they've had 2 losses and a draw. And they didn't beat Agrida, and he goes, if that isn't embarrassing, or if it isn't the ultimate embarrassment, what is? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what to say about this one, to be honest.
I mean, so I've not seen these highlights, and I'm looking at how Geravnos has let these 2 Agridas goals in, and I'm like awkward to all kind of.
I was gonna say you were waxing lyrical about him about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I haven't seen these highlights yet. Absolutely disgraceful goalkeeping.
Well, speaking of disgraceful, Vasco Lopez's goal that we just saw, CableNet actually missed it because they were doing an analysis of a previous opportunity, and the moment they stopped, the ball was in the back of the net, so I had to show a replay. But yeah,
fucking Bendreu.
Leave the guy alone, man.
No, man. Give somebody else a chance. Oh, he keeps winning. He keeps winning save of the week. Well, great, but if he keeps dropping 5 clangers a game and produces 1 good save, you're still going to let in 5 goals.
Fucking hell, mate. Leave the
No,
guy alone.
man, I'm going to bury him. They need to play. They need to play. They need to play Akos. I am an Akos defender, mate. I want him. I want to see him play. Play him, Voxa.
Okay.
Voxa. What? Agrida. Play him, Agrida.
That's probably why he doesn't play for Doxa, because
I'm expecting him to turn out for Voxa. That's what it is. No, play him, Agrida. Agrida.
Oh God. Oh my
At
God.
Agrida Chloraga.
Play him.
Play. Onodi. Give him a chance. Maybe he might surprise you. He surprised a lot of Liverpool fans when he played against them in the FA Cup for Villa.
Okay.
Play him.
For those of you watching, Thassos does not have PTSD. It's just that he believes the goalkeeper deserves an opportunity. But look, let's move. Yeah. let's move on. Let's move on.
Right, swipe past it.
Here's the thing, right? I put this out yesterday, a tweet that Garbiodesa brought in a new head coach, a Romanian head coach. They didn't make any announcements. I didn't even know he was on the bench for the weekend against Salamina. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
It was almost like the next day I saw like, thank you, coach, or like, well done, coach, or we keep going. I'm thinking, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, the reason they probably did that was because they wanted to keep quiet about coaches after Kershakov's whole deal, the interview on sport.ru or whatever the website's called.
Would you want to tell our listeners what has happened with Kershakoff?
Yes. So basically, when the resignation happened, he did a very brief interview with sport.ru about what happened, and he said, I'll reveal things later. Well, later came about a week later, and basically, so I read through a transliterated version of the article because obviously it's in Russian. I've also made it available on our Facebook group. This is Mappa. And also on my Twitter. There we go. Affairs gaffes. Anyway, so first of all, it was a massive surprise, obviously for everybody, that Garmyodisa managed to get hold of he's a Russian international player. He's a Zenit St. Petersburg legend to take over, after the 5 previous head coaches. So the reason they were able to get hold of him was because Kershakoff was basically, he hadn't had a job for a good 6 months and nobody was contacting him. I'm guessing something to do with something happening politically externally in Russia might have had an issue there. I don't know. I'm just saying that anyway. But basically, Garmyodisa came in, saw that he was available, and sent him an email out of the blue being like, do you want to sign tomorrow? You can sign tomorrow. Are you ready? Come on. You come in. Come on. We're going to be in Europe. You want to come? You want to come? Can you speak English? Anyway, and they basically blasted him with loads of information, and basically said, let me think about it. And they just kept coming back to him saying, don't miss out on this. You don't want to miss out on this. Can you sign tomorrow? We need you to come tomorrow. We need you there tomorrow. So basically, the way that they tackled getting Kerzhakov in is how scammers attack basically older and vulnerable people with don't waste this opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime.
It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Exactly. So he did some very, very brief research. He knows the owner of Aris, and he knows that he's doing a good job at Aris and bankrolling the club. And he also got in contact with Kokorin very quickly. But Kokorin and his wife could obviously only offer like an outside view looking in for when Garmyodisa visited Aris or vice versa. But regardless, he needed a job, so he jumped in. So they promised him European football, training ground upgrades, scouting, transfer budget in the summer, the whole works. They promised him that they were going to give him 3 games for video assessment, and they only sent him 1 home game, and then the other 2 away games were just television broadcasts of the games, which for data analysis purposes mean absolute bugger all. Because obviously, you keep getting instant replays all the time.
Yeah.
And for instance, like you mentioned 5 minutes ago, sometimes they just miss goals because they're talking about something else. He showed up at the training ground, and the base, basically the training base is 3 portable construction cabins to get changed in, get physio work done, and fitness coaching. The showers only work part-time because the water's being cut off regularly. Basically, by the time the players were going through these 3 cabins, they didn't have enough time to then actually go and do training for skills and for games. Then despite this, he said he was going to adhere to the contract as he had good players. And we've talked about Ganarissa's players. They've got some very, very good players in that team. That is until his last game in charge, where the sporting director came down and ordered him to make substitutions prior to half-time and basically told him where to jog on. Half-time came for him to give his team talk, and when he got into the changing rooms, he saw some of his players were getting changed to either because they were finishing the game or because they were coming on. And the players told him that the sporting director had made the changes for him and made those changes official. So he had no say in what was going on. So he basically told the players that he was resigning at halftime, but told them to try their best because they are still under contract to keep trying their best. So he resigned. The next day, the director in question asked him to sign off on a piece of paper so that the compensation package can be agreed, and he waited for confirmation of it going through. Nothing came after 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of waiting. So Kershakov contacted the club, who said the papers that he had signed absolved the club of paying for compensation. And basically, they did. There's a GIF I've put in the notes of basically Milhouse's dad getting fired from the cracker factory, where he goes, so that's it. After 20 years, so long, good luck. And the boss of the cracker factory goes, I don't recall saying good luck. But so basically, Kezhakov has taken the lid off what happens at Garmyodisa. And one of the other things he mentioned, because the reporter at sports.ru wanted to talk about Huberchan as well. And Kershakov said that Huberchan was tricked in the same sort of way that he was.
Wow.
But it's up for Huberchan to come out and say that. Obviously, he's under contract, so I can't say anything further. But yeah, it's a damning indictment of, one, the way Garmodisa work, and two, probably how some clubs in Gibro work as well. So the reason why Garmodisa have been able to go through these coaches, through so many coaches in one season, I would suspect is because they've been practicing this. Here's a piece of paper, sign it, and we'll give you your compensation. And then the coaches sign that piece of paper. And in fact, the piece of paper says, you said that you don't want any compensation on this piece of paper. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, obviously, we spoke about very, very early on when we started doing the podcast. They signed, is it Husbauer? The beginning of the season, and then he left like 3 months later.
Yep.
I'm guessing that's why he left. So, and I'm thinking there's quite a few players that probably think they're trapped there because of the contract that they've signed. Yeah. But obviously, they want to run away screaming, never to come back.
Well, watch this space, because the way this club is being run, I can see them folding between now and, say, the next 18 months. I can see it happening.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for them, honestly. And if it gets out more and more people find out, we haven't heard anything from the players anyway. That's the first thing. But when they do start talking, it's, well, it's massive. It's massive. But anyway.
The only thing I can think, obviously, is that the players are getting paid. Otherwise, there would definitely be something.
Oh, for sure.
Kicking off major.
Oh, well. So, what's the next protocol? We've got Olympiacos, who sacked Serides. And they brought in Dudic again, but something else happened with that. Wasn't Donaidi involved, calling a radio station or some shit?
Yeah, so Dornaridis basically rang up Supersport FM, I think it was, and basically like before any kind of announcement or any kind of note of normally you get like 2 or 3 days of whispers and it does sound like this and this is happening. Just completely out of the blue, Dornaridis rang up Supersport FM and said, "Okay, yeah, we're sacking Sergidis." So Dornadis actually said that he had no problem with the way Serides was running the team, and obviously he's getting performances from the players, so that's not an issue. But he looked at the way Doxa have kind of improved once they got rid of Chel, because obviously Ricardo Chel, he got performances from the players at Doxa, but just wasn't getting results from them. And he was very popular with the players as well. A bit, kind of like Serides. When we talked to Joel, he had nothing but good things to say about Serides. But you can be everybody's friend, but not be getting the results. And Dornadis said that they're looking to change it up, like Doxa did. Doxa brought in Saka, and all of a sudden, Saka has got these players, got Doxa players playing out their skin. So, doing exactly the same kind of what Doxa did. Doxa brought in somebody who'd been at the club twice before. Dornadis looked at Tudic because one, he was available, and two, he'd been out Olympiacos before, obviously last season, and he'd also played for Olympiacos as a player for a season as well, so he's got history with the team. Personally, I think it's very, very harsh. It's very harsh because Serides was getting a lot out of those players, and I'm trying to say this nicely.
Well, the thing is, mate, if we face facts here, before he left, Guerrier, the left back, was the leading goal scorer.
Yeah,
and I think 2 of the 3 goals were his penalties. Now Esselink, the centre back, is their leading goal scorer. But to be fair to Serides, did they really back him in January when he needed signings, when he needed reinforcements? They brought in the striker, Khalili.
They did. To be fair, they did. So they brought in Dumishai, and Dumishai, if you remember, came off the bench and he scored, but he got a big injury, so he's just started to come back. They brought in this other Magis or whatever his name is to replace Dumishai, and then he got injured as well, which is why they went and got Gorupek and who's the other one? I can't remember the other guy.
Was it Khalili? Was it? I forget his name.
No, the free transfer.
Pass.
Because I think he was at Aachen last season, and they brought him in. Anyway, he was a striker as well. Khalili is a Swedish international, midfielder. He's played for Sweden, so I think they backed him, but it's just unlucky with injuries. Just finishing. I don't want to put blame on anyone in particular, but Hendricks has been there all season and he's played quite a lot. He's a striker and he scored 0. His assist, I don't think his assist record is that good either. But it is what it is.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? 2 more things very quickly, mate. Going back to the unorthodoxy loss against Agrida, Christoforu, the press representative of unorthodoxy, the guy with the went like that with we are in the shit. Well, he basically spoke to CableNet at full time, and his words were basically, today's result was unacceptable. It's a result that can't be repeated, and there are no excuses to give to the fans. The issue of motivation is understood to be non-existent. But playing for North, it should be a motivation enough, especially for those who wear the shirt. For those who aren't playing for the shirt, they can't be at the stadium. They can't be here and wear our shirt. We apologize to the fans, and they are well within their rights to receive an apology. And for anyone who isn't motivated to wear the shirt, then don't wear it. This match is more proof that a lot of changes need to be made. That's the first thing. And the second thing, Janevski. Now there's a story coming out of a lot of the press that his position is untenable. He could be gone before the second leg against Olympiacos.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, with Janevski as well, there was an incident as the players were coming off for half time. There was an incident between Janevski and some of the IL fans. I think it was just some, just shouting back and forth. But there was something going on there, which obviously makes his position a little bit more on the precipice. Yeah, he's made his decision. He's made his position difficult. But I think if you're getting rid of him before the second leg of the cup, I think it's a big mistake, especially since he knows these players, he knows what to get out of them, and he's been rotating his team quite a lot because obviously he's trying to see. Well, I'm guessing he was trying to see who would be good to keep for next season. One thing, and the other thing is to keep the players fresh for that second leg. But obviously, because he keeps chopping and changing, bringing new people in, taking other people out, the things of that nature, it's not so fluid in those games. So the team's not clicking, and that's what's causing these negative results to come through for them. But yeah, there's a thing about pride as well. It's if you can't motivate the players to have pride in these last few league games, and they're already on holiday, then the issue is with the manager not being able to motivate them to perform, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very quickly, let's touch on Salamina, Bursabul. It could be Bursabul no more. Apparently, he hasn't signed a new contract. Do you want to elaborate on that, mate?
Yeah, so they've basically had an offer to him to continue past after Easter, because I think at the moment his contract's only up to Easter. So he's had the offer basically for a month. Salamina have already come forward 2 or 3 times to say, the offer we've provided him is betterment to what he had previously. We want him to continue. He's doing a very good job. We think he's doing a fantastic job, and we want him to continue doing that fantastic job. Now, he's been sat with that contract for a month or however long, but he hasn't put pen to paper. Now, is it because he's got another offer in place? Is he trying to wait out something coming up? I mean, personally, I think if he leaves, it's a bad time for both him and now Salamina. There's a project there. I mean, Bursaidiz has already talked about the kind of project that they've got there is basically they find these players, they get them up to a certain level, and then they have to then let those players go to a bigger club. But at the same time, he's somehow managing to get the players that he had in the second division that he found that have then been released and gone on to better things. Some of them he's kept for this season, and he's carried them going, and they've done great. There's no reason why he can't do the same next season and keep doing that until now Salamina are one of those big clubs that he's complaining about. I'm trying to think work jobs that he could go for. There's Vesco, which is a temporary solution at Anorthosis, but if you're talking about leaving because there's financial issues, you don't want to go from one to the other. Now we're talking about AL, obviously. I'm going to be looking at somebody. Bath are going to be looking for a permanent solution, but they're probably going to be looking for somebody more European, well-known, more Ajax are going to be looking for somebody temporary to fix that, because I don't think the Ultra is going to last much longer, especially with the trigger finger that Javi Roca has. If it's not going well, it doesn't go well. Bringing somebody temporarily to finish the season, like they did last season with David Badia. But is he going to go back to Greece? Greek football at the moment is a shower, as proven by the fact that they want to move the FA Cup final to somewhere outside of Greece. But yeah, if he stayed at Nea Salamina and got them into top 6 and maybe into Europe, imagine what kind of name he would be to get them to that level. Obviously, there's a lot of work, and it's going to take quite a lot of time. And a footballing career only lasts so long, so maybe bigger, better things is the way to go. But yeah, on Nea Salamina's side, they've got quite a few to pick from. At the moment, the pile. I mean, we've seen how big the pile is at the moment. Sergidis is free, be great fit for them. You've got so many other managers kind of just waiting in the wings, waiting for something as well. So there's world's the oyster for both of them, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else for Group B? I'm trying to think.
No, that's it.
That's it. I think we're done. I think we're done with Group B. Yeah. I think the only ones that get away with it this weekend, or this week, shall I say, are Doxa and Agrida. Agrida haven't sacked anyone. Doxa won. They're in the clear.
Yeah. And Paralimni are fine as well. If you want a negative on Paralimni, they're not scoring goals. That's it.
No, unfortunately for them, no. And they're 7 points away from Doxa, but we'll go into the league table in a bit. Let's move on to Group A. And wow, what a fiery weekend it's been, I guess. It's been entertaining, I must admit. And let's begin in Buffer. Salgado's first league game in charge. Buffer absolutely walloped Ajax 4-0. Wow, mate, honestly, watching the highlights, because I didn't watch the full game, Ajax defending was absolutely atrocious. Honestly, it's the worst I've seen them this season, and I'm not exaggerating here. In terms of the types of goals that they conceded, it's the worst defending I've seen in the league this season, mate. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. How can you play a high line with 3 defenders across the kickoff spot and then you're another centre back 5 yards behind them? It was terrible. Absolutely. But take nothing away from Buffer. They deserve the win. 2 goals for Abdurrahimi, a guy who's on loan from Agrida, believe it or not. Tankovic scored and Gane at the end. So yeah,
this goal. Oh my God. Oh, the second goal. Unbelievable. Sorry. So for people listening, we're just watching the second goal here. I suggest people watch like the defensive shambles that Stel mentioned there. It's not conjecture. It's the absolute worst kind of defending that I've seen in a long time. Just the replays of it are incredible. It gets worse every time.
It does. And do you know what? When you watch it again, Milicevic plays the back pass
Yeah.
And it's so wayward. He then has the temerity to blame Tomovic. What are you talking about, mate?
I got no idea, man. I got no idea what is. It's I don't know how the wheels have fallen off the wagon so much for Ike. It's
Bro, it happened with Omonia last season. It's the European campaign. It's killed them.
It's well, yeah, but I mean, if you have a look at the players that they brought in, those players were supposed to provide some respite for some of these other players that would be tired. For instance, Jacques has come in, and he's supposed to be a direct replacement for either this bloody again.
Gushko.
They left him.
Gushko.
Yeah, they left him on
Yeah,
their own.
don't worry.
Sorry,
Tankovic,
I'm trying.
Tankovic's goal, which we're going to see in a bit, is even worse, mate. Honestly, it is a catastrophe. It really is.
It's making me lose my concentration on things I'm trying to say. It's so bad. But yeah, and Gromov has been absolute no-show. It was Nikolic has scored so many goals at so many places, and he's come to AEK, and except for that goal against Karmiodissa, where he didn't even mean it, if you remember, we talked about it. Jesus Christ. He's been non-existent as well. So if we go back to this Tankovic goal,
look, the defending. What is this? What is this?
What is this? But I mean, it's great. It's great dummy from Gyro as well. He's done great there. He's just gone. There you go. Teed it up for him. And
this is literally throwing in the towel from the first minute.
Yeah.
This is what it is, and I'm telling you this now. If Oltra is still in charge of the club after Easter, I will be shocked. If I play Omonia on the 21st and Oltra is on the bench, I will be shocked. I think he's a dead man walking, man. They've killed him. These players have killed him.
Yeah,
absolutely killed him. I'm sorry for any AEK player or fan that's watching. These players defensively, all 4 goals. You cannot excuse them. Any of them. Any of them at all.
If you listen to the press conference that Ultra did as well, he didn't give any excuses. He said it's absolutely terrible, and then said trabajo, work. They've got a lot of work to do to improve, because that's oh my god. Right. I'm going to try and go back to my notes for a second, especially since we're not showing the bloody replays anymore. So yeah, basically my thinking is that Ultra has a plan A, and it's a very good plan A when it works, but there's no plan B. So he's got the plan A is a high defensive line, overload, get crosses in, get played into the box as quickly as possible, move everybody as far up the pitch as possible. But when you're playing against a team like Bafos, we've got speedy players. Gyro is very, very fast. He's a very fast player. So he's going to and he's the kind of player who likes to get in a defender's face. He's very good at pressing. He's going to force mistakes out of you. If you don't have anybody or anything to deal with that, then you're going to leave yourself open to the kind of goals they conceded. But yeah, they keep trying to play from the back. Play out from the back, and Tomovic and Milicevic are not necessarily the kind of players that would be doing that. They're kind of your old school defenders. They're going to try and get in the way. They're going to tackle, give it to somebody else, and deal with it. But that is what it is. On the other side of things, we mentioned Baffle. Salgado got everything correct for this game. I mean, even starting Bruno on the bench brings in Abdulrahimi. Abdulrahimi gets the 2 goals, and you could see from the highlights, free flowing, People, like there was more flexibility in the way Thassos moved forward. They weren't as rigid as when Bruno is in the team, and it's because they try and basically get everything to Bruno and then expect Bruno to do the magic. Whereas without Bruno there, they've got all these different options. They can fly about.
Well, it's the second game. It's the second game that Salgado has coached Buffalo this season. It's the second game that Bruno started on the bench and they didn't lose.
But the good thing that he did do is he brought him on with Tankovic in the second half, quite late on. Took advantage of those tired legs to get the trickery out. So I mean, Bruno basically made those 2 goals in the second half, the 3 and the 4-0, with his running and his trickery. So the third goal is basically him crossing the ball and Gyro dummies it for Tankovic to finish. And the fourth one is he basically does the 1-2 with Gane, doesn't he? And then Gane finishes. So, I mean, he's not. They paid a lot of money for him to just be the kind of guy to come off the bench and turn the game on a screw. And it's something that probably he needs, and whoever takes over from Salgado next season, they will also need to work him into a system that, one, takes advantage of all the attacking prowess that Buffalo have, but also is able to fit Bruno in.
Absolutely. And the thing is, going back to what you said about Salgado getting it right, if you notice with the goals that Buffalo scored, especially on the counter-attack, they had 8 or 9 men in the box, including the goalkeeper. So when that ball was delivered in the box, they've got enough bodies, because as we keep saying, Ike overload the box. Mm-hmm. So they're susceptible to counter. I can't even get my words out today. Susceptible to counter-attack. And the counter-attacking goals that Buffalo scored were created by the pacey players, as you quite rightly said. And they exposed them every single time. But it's almost as if since the Apollon game, when they lost 3-1, Ike, it's almost as if they're playing like 10 yards higher up the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have the legs to track back players. And look, we can blame the European campaign all we want. But what I will say about that is that loss at West Ham, that smashing that they received, I think that's absolutely taken the wind out of their sails completely. The confidence is gone. It's absolutely gone.
You say that, but after that game, remember they were there. I remember seeing like pictures and videos of them celebrating as if they won the bloody game. So I don't think that's what's done it. I think it's basically they took the piss with the league because of obviously their earlier form in the season, and then realized, oh, actually we've got to play just the good teams now. And they ballsed it up, and as they've continued ballsing it up, the confidence has dropped from there. Yeah. So I think that's what's done it. Because the West Ham game, they were like, after the West Ham game, the changing room, there was pictures of them being like, yeah, woo, West Ham, woo.
Yeah, but see that for me is a loser mentality. And the thing is, I hate to bring it back to my club, Omonia, but when we played Man United, okay, it's Man United. You're gonna be excited, but at the same time, conduct yourself in a different way. Don't act starstruck. And if you are starstruck, make sure you don't post it all over fucking social media. Keep it with your mates. Keep it with your family. That kind of stuff.
Saying that, Zoho played his arse off that game, so he could probably get away with, the social media posts.
Right, but 3 or 4 players standing around Cristiano Ronaldo while he's holding his shirt. I think, okay, I get it. He's a legend. I get it. He's an icon, whatever. But if you can have that photograph, don't plaster it all over social media, because I just think it kind of denigrates your own reputation, because okay, maybe it's just me being old school in my ways of thinking, but if you want to be at that level, you can't be seen to be licking the ass of people that level.
You're
Do you know what I
right.
mean?
You're right. You're right.
That's how I see it.
But
I'm old school.
okay, I think with the Omonia versus Manchester United game, it makes a bit of sense, at least because the score was respectable.
Touche.
Ajax, when they played West Ham, they lost. What was it, 4-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ledes got sent off.
Yep.
There's nothing to celebrate there at all. If it was me, I would have been bollocking them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's
goes back to the mentality thing with
yeah.
Cyprus, doesn't it? Goes back to
Yeah.
the mentality thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
right, let's move on.
Mhm.
Got 2 more games to go. 2 more games? It's 2 more games, isn't it? 2 more games. Yeah, 2 more games. Right. I'm losing track. Right. Okay. So this one, Apoel losing at home 2-0 to Apollon. Goals scored. All right, okay. Before we talk about like the goals scored, all that kind of shit, because Humble scored a fantastic goal, Bitter scored a lovely goal, but Apoel should have been a goal up. Listen, you see me, I'm wearing this Omonia sweatshirt, okay? And I'm not going to have my green tinted specs on. Thassos scores a brilliant goal. It's a wonderful finish with his left foot. But the goal was disallowed for apparently handball by Kvilitaya. Now, okay, from that angle, it looks like it's handball from that angle, yeah? But you can watch it 100 times again. That is not handball. And the fact is, you can see it there, right? That we just saw that angle right in front of him, right, where he's facing his chest. It hits just below his shoulder. That's not a handball, boys and girls. I'm sorry for any Omonia fans watching. That's not a handball. And while it's funny seeing Apoel struggle, if both teams were the teams that you didn't give a shit about, you're saying that is bullshit, isn't it?
It's absolute. I basically. Well, I mean, I said on the. I said on Twitter when somebody asked about it. I said, "Spoiler! I think it's absolute bollocks." But yeah, the today as well. On Wednesday as we're recording, the VAR review came out. Where basically the Mazic seems to have agreed with the VAR official, and then came a big old explanation that, like, I read it in Greek, I transliterated it into English, I clicked on Google Translate to check that as well. No idea what the fuck he's talking about. Like normally I try to defend a referee or VAR or whatever, but there's no way to defend it. There's no way. But anyway,
you can't defend it. And what makes it even worse? And do you know what? Again, at the risk, this is my opinion. It's not fact. So don't sue me. But it seems that you cannot say anything about Mazic at all, because if you do, one way or the other, you'll get shafted. One way or the other. And it's not on. And look, as an Omonia fan, we've seen Apoel get many decisions over the years, and we've complained about them. But that, you could tell that there's a lot going on back then. But we're talking about the here and now. And if you want to talk about the interest of fairness, that's not a handball. But I don't want to take anything away from Apollon either, because I think they defended well. Yeah. Humble scored that cracking goal, which obviously we didn't talk about. But again, Belic, your mate, didn't cover himself with glory. Did Apoel do enough to get anything out of this game, do you believe, though?
Well, the decision came like in the first minute of the game, so that could have spanned the game on its head. Saying that, Apoel had chances. I think if you have a look at the stats for the game, everything except for the big important stat was kind of towards Apoel. Belic obviously produced one good save during the game. We just saw it for Warda. But yeah, it was. Apollon deserved it, man. Andone seems to always come with a plan to a game, and the plan is different every time.
And this counter-attacking goal pretty much sums them up. And they won the ball on their own half in their own box, practically, on the edge of the box. It's a great finish from Bitta, man. Great finish.
Yeah. Bitta. So the thing about Andoni as well is he's done something that the other, the two managers before him this season haven't done, and I don't know why, but is play handball. You play handball, and all of a sudden the team's bloody well beaters. All of a sudden, that's basically all they needed. But yeah.
This one disallowed for offside. When I first saw it, I was a little bit confused because I thought, well, the guy that was given offside for, he wasn't interfering with play, but
he was.
But he was, yeah.
Yeah. Because the way they made it look like was that they had it at they had it drawn on 2 or 3 other players, but basically you have 5, 6 players offside there, so it's a difficult one. But yeah, the other thing is as well with the game is Jovanovic in Apollon's goal. So over the last month or so, Jovanovic's performances have been through the roof, and the fans are obviously agreeing with that because he keeps getting man of the match award, and he pulled off like 3 or 4 fantastic saves to keep the clean sheet. So yeah, between Jovanovic, Hambo, Bitta, even Warda was fairly quiet, but you could see him kind of on the periphery of Apollon's chances as well.
Yeah.
Andone seems to have a plan for every game, and more often than not, it seems to work. So we talked about last week. Obviously, they basically stopped Aris playing the Aris game that they have, but still lost the game. The other 4 games that he's been in charge of, they've been something else.
Yeah, and I think I don't think it's no coincidence that I know Cole didn't play the full 90 minutes, but I think it's no coincidence with him back in the team.
Yeah,
they look a little bit more solid in midfield, and let's give Andone more flowers because they haven't had a left back since Hamas got injured, and Ekpolo played left back at the weekend, and he was outstanding. So you're right, Andone's done something right. And it's almost as if he's changed the mentality completely at the club. Now, hindsight is a great thing. And this time next season, we might be talking about another head coach at Apollon because you know how things change. And I want to kind of like sidestep a little bit and talk about Apoel now because obviously we're gonna discuss Aris beating Omonia, but there are players who have now come back into the Apoel team. Kostadinov started, Marquinhos is back, etc. The heat is now on Milojevic. The heat is now on him, big time. And I don't know how long he'll be in a job now because if they don't win the title, I think that'll be him gone. Have they won in their last 3 or 4 games? I can't remember the last time they won.
4 games without a win.
Yeah. That's not title form, is it? With 6 games to go?
No. He definitely needs to find a way to pick these players up. But if I go, because we had a lot to talk about during the highlights. If we go back to the second goal, it starts from basically Cole picking up the ball, and Safo looks at Cole and just steps back. Let him run with the ball, and you see him. Safo is stood there, and he's just walking back. Are you going to try and put it back now to rewatch it?
You can make me do it now. You can make me do it.
No, it's seriously. It's like Safo
is it? Hang about. That's still 1-0.
Oh, no, keep
That's not
going.
it.
No,
It's not
keep
it.
going.
Hang about.
There you go. Right.
Ah.
Yeah. So go back a little bit here. Right. Here you go. So watch number 44. That's Sarfort, right?
Well, there's 3 players crowding around Kvitaya. Yeah, so
Right.
he's got now
Yeah.
out. He's got now outlet for a start. But yeah,
There you go. There's Sarfort. What
Varda
the hell
given
was
goal.
that?
Yeah,
Like I like even if you think you're not going to get to him, drag him back. Get the yellow card.
yeah.
Get the red card. Whatever. Because
The thing is, in all fairness, right? Sarfo has practically played every game this season, man. He's been an ever-present, and it wouldn't be surprised me if he's a bit burnt out. And also, Dalcio was in the middle of the park with him the last 20 minutes.
yeah.
So he's effectively doing 2 holding midfielders roles. But can we just go back and just give our flowers to this goal, man, from Humble, because I don't think he will score a better goal in his career. Let me find it, man. I'm sorry. Oh, it is. I just missed it. Lovely. Missed it again, Stel. There you go.
Bang.
There you go. But the question I have to ask again, you could even say, well, where's Sarfo on him? Why is he not picking him up? Because he's free.
Mm.
But do you expect him to volley it from 25 yards? I don't think so. But they say win the first ball, which they did. Did they clear their lines for the second? No, Kvitada's got rid of it, but he's just only headed it back into trouble. They say head it away, and he's headed it straight forward. But Belec, could he have done better with it?
You could argue he saw it late just because of the crowd in front of him.
Yeah, possibly.
But
you expect him to do better.
Expect
him to do better.
Yeah. But yeah, Hamburg has been
a revelation.
He's been a revelation. I don't understand how he's been a revelation, because he's been at Apollon for how long?
A long time.
And he was one of the players who was instrumental for the title win as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't understand why he's a revelation.
Well, he's rejuvenated. How about that one? He's rejuvenated.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, Abuel, like, they got to do something. Abuel has to do something, because there's a juggernaut coming.
Yes, let's talk about that then. And Omonia losing at home. Yeah, Omonia losing 3-0 to Aris at home. Look, I'm sure you heard what I had to say on yesterday's No Choftes. I'm not happy that we lost, but if it means that Aris went above Abuel, then so be it. 2 incredible goals from Aris. Both of them are overhead kicks. One from Bengtson, one from Bambika. Our guy, Morgan Brown, scoring the third. To be honest, up until the 25th minute, I think Omonia were okay. But then the goal came, and that was it. Game done. Go to bed. Galinichta. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get your players motivated after conceding a goal like that, man. It's like a goal like that happens, you just think it's not your day, isn't it? It's like it's not going to happen, because it's a great finish as well. Like, I take nothing away from Benson. He gives it like a good, fantastic finish. But who's the defender? Yeah, who's the defender? That's
Gitsos.
Yeah, so Gitsos slips just beforehand as well, which gives
he didn't deal with the second one either. I'm just saying.
No, but it gives him that extra bit of space to try something, because that cross was going nowhere. But he had the wherewithal, the opportunity, and the space to try the fantastic, and it worked out. But yeah, and then they were all at it. Kokorin hits the fucking crossbar doing the same thing. Yeah, as it was. Like I said, kind of to start with, Tour de France, all the bicycle kicks.
Mate, maybe Aris have been doing overhead kick challenges for their YouTube, and they thought, "Ah, fuck it, let's try it on the pitch now."
Yeah. I mean, they don't even need to get they don't even need to get the video out no more. They can just show clips from this game. Oh, it's unbelievable! Again, the way that Ali's come forward, there's the way you try to stop that. I mean, some people don't try to stop it, but the way you try to stop that is obviously you pack out that midfield.
Yep.
You fill that midfield with as many bodies as you can, and make sure you tell the players to stop those runs. Because I mean,
are you surprised with how easy it was for him second half though? Because these highlights don't actually do Aris much justice, because it was actually even more convincing than the highlight show.
There you go. There's the second goal. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that was great. It's great stuff. Listen, it's Shpilevsky there. I couldn't tell if Shpilevsky was happy or having a go for doing it the second time, third time. Sorry, but it's as the game wears on as well. Is especially with the players that Aris have got as the game wears on, and they bring in more attacking legs, fast legs. And the people you're bringing on are not the fastest, not able to deal with that. You're going to have a lot of tired legs. So obviously, kind of the 2-0, what was that? 70 minutes, 77th minute, something like that. Yeah. So if you're going to attack after attack after attack after attack, and then Morgan Brown scores one of the easier goals that he's scored in an Irish shirt.
He'll have it. Don't worry.
He will have it. But
he'll have it more. He'll have it. Don't worry.
Me, I like it. I like him to take his 30-yard pop shots. This is a bit meh for me. Give me something exciting to look at.
4 out of 10, Morgan. 4 out of 10, mate. It went for 25, 30 yards. You don't count.
Yeah. That's it. That's where you should be banging them in from. But yeah, it's the way that Aris keep coming and just keep coming and coming and coming at you. After a while, just not just physically, but mentally tiring to just have to keep dealing with it again and again and again and again. Now, I didn't see the substitutions that Sofroni made, but I'm guessing they weren't the best substitutions to make. I didn't see.
Well, a change was made before kickoff because Adam Matthews was originally named on the team sheet, but then he tore his adductor before kickoff. So Gitsos came in at right back. Yuste then came on at half time for. Who did he come on for? Who did he come on for? Zaharil. Well, he came on for Zaharil.
Oh, right, okay.
He came on for Zaharil, and then Militic went right back. Kasama later came on. Babuli came on at half time to play on the left. Shradi also came on later. I mean, look, as you saw from the highlights, we had one shot on target, and that was in the 46th minute. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think, look, I'm just going to say this. I don't think our players were bothered about this game because of what it meant to the league table. And I'm just going to say it because, it's normal for teams to down tools when it's not going to benefit your rivals. I don't think it's professional, but if you're an Omonia fan and you're thinking like, shit, what do we do? Do we beat Aris and give Abor the chance to win the title?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how much stick these players would have got if they did win the game? Can you imagine? You win the game and you get a shot on. But I don't really want to talk about my team too much because they've got other things on their minds at the moment.
No, we've got to talk about Adi, man. We've got to talk about Adi.
Exactly. And I think the scary thing that we haven't even mentioned, bro, right, throughout this season is the talent that they've got coming off the bench. I mean, we saw Morgan Brown come on. Mayan Bella came on. Stepinski came on. Jablonski is still there. They got Monek Paquet on the bench. You could do. Sikorsky can still come on. Like, come on, man. You know, I think Milojevic is sitting there going, fucking, I'm getting all these injuries and I'm trying to assemble a team. You know, you got Dhoni's getting injured left, right, and centre. You got Kostadinov just coming back. Then you got Ndongala, hot and cold. You know, the centre backs, he's not sure if Garo can play week in, week out. He's got all these other players. And here we go with Aris, who are top of the league now. They haven't lost since when? December?
It's been a while. I mean, even in defence, Bilea is keeping Yago out of the team.
That's right.
And Steve Yago's not a bad player.
Well, Yago played centre back. Yesterday, and Boyki was at right back. But yeah.
So they've got everything in place. So you know, you mentioned before that next season is their season, and when I did my prediction, it's online. People can see my predictions with Ayel at the top and Aris finishing in the second. Aris finishing in the second group. Absolute bollocks. Obviously, needed to flip those two around.
Well, hindsight and all that.
Yeah, but like the way that they're playing. Again, we talked about last week where if Plan A doesn't work, just try Plan B. Plan B was to dig in, win it ugly, and they did. That was probably the one thing that was kind of holding Aris back, and they've managed to fix that now. So there's nothing holding them back. So everybody should be scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they're going to win it, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
They're going to win it. They're going to win
I hope so. I hope so. I can't have them lot winning it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. Let's go to the league table before we quickly discuss other things, because a lot has been going on, obviously, even in the lower leagues. But this is the league table. As you can see, Aris are now top of the league. They're a point ahead of Apoel. There's 6 games to go. Apoel still have a very good goals conceded or goals against record, to be fair. But Aris have now scored 56 goals this season. Ajax, third place, 4 points behind Apoel. It wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo leapfrog Ajax sooner rather than later. My little team, Omonia, 6th place, not very good. Apollon, imagine where they would be if they'd have beaten Ayal instead of having their fans fight against them. But in the relegation group, as you can see, Agrida are bottom. I think if they lost today, they'd have been officially down, but they survived for at least one more week anyway. Olympiacos 7th on 23 points, 6 points clear. Then Paralimni also on 23 points. And then Doxa, 7 points clear of Paralimni. I don't want to say it's done and dusted, but it's looking likely that Paralimni are going back into the 2nd division. What do you think?
Yeah, I think those bottom 3, it's going to take a miracle for any of those bottom 3 to come out of there. Maybe you could argue that maybe if IL got a result, it makes things a bit more interesting against, if IL had beaten Garmiodisa, because then that would have been like a 5th club involved in that relegation issue. But I don't know, man. I think it's gone. I think those 3 teams are down.
Nice knowing you.
Yep.
See you again sometime soon. See you soon.
Yep.
Mate, I know there's a few things you'd like to discuss, but before we talk about your mate, spin the wheel and guess which punishment you get, I want to bring up this. And you and I spoke about this the other day. This was an Instagram story put up by Kasper Choratska. Now, Kasper Choratska, for those of you who don't know, used to be Omonia's 4th or 5th choice goalkeeper. In the summer, he joined Ermiz Aradipo. And at the weekend, Ermiz faced a team called Box. in a second division game, and there was a few whispers. There was a few whispers, and someone told me put some money on Box beating Hermes away from home. I was like, really? Go, yeah. They're 3.2. They're 3.2. Put some money on them. So I can't be bothered with this. I'm not going to listen to this because you hear about all these things in Cyprus happening, and I didn't want to pay attention to it. Lo and behold, Hermes lost 3-1. They were 2-1 down with 7 minutes of added time left to play, and then Box grabbed a third. And at full time, this is like 12, 15 minutes after the game, the Hermes goalkeeper puts up this story. The ABBA song, Money, 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 a GIF, as you can see, someone throwing money in the air, and it's got the lyrics to the ABBA song. Make of that what you want.
Listen. To tell you the truth, with everything else that's happened this week, I completely forgot about it up again. So kind of like just hearing all of it again, like almost like refreshed. It's like
it's the F5.
Yeah, he's saying the quiet part out loud. What's he doing? What is he doing? What's he doing? Obviously,
Mate, I don't know. I don't know, because the thing is, right, you could say, I mean, he could argue, well, maybe the referee was brought out. Maybe that's why he put it there. Maybe that's why. You can't, again, it's conjecture, but when I'm hearing...
If he has evidence for that, though, he should be putting it forward.
Exactly.
As per the training that the players' union and the betting authority keep arguing about paying for.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, it's wild, mate. It's wild. And as I said, if I didn't receive a message from a mate saying put some money on that game, I wouldn't have thought anything of it, to be honest. I thought, well, why is Casper doing that? I'd have thought exactly what I said. Like, maybe he felt the referee is paid off. But then when I see that, like a couple of hours after I receive a message from someone saying to me, put some money on that game. No, I'm not putting money on anything. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but I'd want to see. Well, Vrioni is always like a week late on stuff, so maybe he might mention it next week.
Yeah, maybe. But we haven't seen any reports about a red envelope, so.
No, but they're always a bit delayed, aren't they? Plus, they're already investigating. They're already investigating that Omonia Radipool game as well. That GOP said there's no game to be investigated, and then the investigating authority said we're investigating this game like half an hour later. Anyway, well, if they don't at least look at it and find nothing's happened, if they don't at least look at it, then there's definitely something wrong. Because they need to at least look at what's gone on. There's no way that that's just, you know, if the referee was bought and that's what he was complaining about, then he needs to go complain about it to the relevant authorities, not just put a thing on Instagram and be like, whoa. Yeah.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking
let's move on.
Evil,
let's move on.
Speaking of evil, so I kind of put this higher up in the notes to not finish on the same downer that we did last week. But Ioannidis did his whole thing of like, hey, for you get a fine, and you get a fine, and everybody gets a fine, except for Ethnikos Achnas. Obviously, last week, the end of the pod I went off on one because of what the Ethnikos Achnas fans did with the explosive devices. So just to bring everybody up to speed, there was a game between Ethnikos Achnas and Othellos Athienu. 3 Ethnikos Achnas fans managed to get explosive devices into the stadium, then threw those explosive devices at the Othellos Athienu group, fans, whatever, because there was 2 big injuries that required hospital attention. One was the Antibroedro of Othello's Atieno, and the other one was a 15-year-old kid. Now, on that, Vrionides has, from up on high, has cast down his mighty sword of punishment and decided to fine Achna and ban fans from one home game. Now, as well as that, one. As well as that, he's decided to fine Othello's Atieno for what happened during that altercation. Okay? Now, I want to also remind everyone that Achna have already been hit with a one home match being played behind closed doors and one away match without their fans because their fans attacked a referee after a game. So they've got priors. Now, this happens, which is, in theory, it's worse because they've injured more people. They've actually brought banned things into the stadium, things that blow up and can hurt people, more people if they were better at throwing. I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
but yeah, there would have been a bigger problem if they'd done, if they were better, if they were playing, say, in a first division game, and there was, like, I don't know what, Abuel fans or whatever, there would have been a lot more people concentrated there. They would have caused a lot more injuries. So Vrionides decides, oh, this is a worse off situation. Therefore, I'm going to give him a lesser punishment. Now, he also said that he was going to publish a letter today to explain that. Now, up to the point of us recording, he hasn't published this letter yet. I'm just while we're talking, I'm just checking
half past 10 at night in Cyprus. He ain't going to do
if
nothing.
He's updated.
No one's going to be updating.
No, he hasn't published his letter. He has not published that letter yet. So, unless he's waiting for, midnight, when nobody's going to be paying attention. But yeah, that's the punishment he's decided to give Achna. I mean, if it was me, so if I'm Vrionides, let me just I'm spinning the wheel. Oh, points deduction. Oh, let me spin it again just in case. Points deduction. Do you know why it's a points deduction? Because all the bits of the wheel say points deduction on it. You deduct points for that kind of thing. You decided to ban the fans for one home game and one away game, like pretty big. You attacked a referee. Now you're basically chucking bombs at people. Points deduction. Points deduction takes them out of the promotion race altogether, and then they might actually do something.
I have a theory as to why there is no points deduction. And I'm only guessing. Again, this is just me guessing. It's not anything that I've heard or I've been told. It's not, again, I haven't got any evidence to prove this. So it's just conjecture. But you know who are third place at the moment, right?
Is it Omonia, FC United of
Omonia Gosenia.
Yeah.
The new Omonia with Thiranya, the Ultras. Do you really think GOP want them promoted? This is a question to the listeners, to the viewers. Do you really think the Cypriot FA want this team promoted into the top division?
If it was the case of them not having them get promoted to the top division, then when they created the club, you just say no and not give them the license.
Yes, I agree, but maybe in their naivety, they thought, that's not going to work. They're not going to be able to go up to the top division. No chance. Then actually chance. But hey, they flipped the script, didn't they? I think they're worried. I think the CFA are worried if this team gets promoted because of the amount of fans that they have. They're worried. Obviously, we know about the Gata Filallo and all the crowd trouble that we have. I think they believe that if Omonia Gosenya get promoted, they're going to be a problem on and off the pitch. That's what I think anyway. Now, this isn't to say that these people are troublemakers. I'm not saying that they are. I think the CFA are bricking it, honestly. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Again, it's not a fact. I'm not saying that this is 100%. It's my opinion. So you cannot sue me. Fuck you. Anyway.
Well, they must definitely have a pot set to the side for all the fines that they keep breaking.
Oh, yeah.
They have to keep paying fines because they keep bringing in, flares, firecrackers, fireworks, stuff. They keep bringing beers and all kinds of stuff and things going on. At one point, they got fined because they threw 4 balls onto the pitch at the same time to get to make sure the game doesn't continue at the pace it was, so they could squeeze get a few more points. Listen, you can't give a license for a club like Omonia 29 and not think, what if? You have to think about the what ifs.
But they never think about the what ifs, and we know this. We know this. They never think about the what ifs.
Well, get on there.
Listen, people are going to say to me, well, if they didn't want Omonia Gosenya, then they would have docked them points for the incident a few weeks ago where the ball boy apparently came on the pitch and apparently spat at the goalkeeper, and apparently the fans put, tear gas in the goalkeeper's drinks bottle, apparently, and then both clubs came out with a joint statement saying, no, nothing to see here kind of thing. But I think there's something untoward happening. I believe. But look, let's push that to the side. Is there anything else that we need to go into?
Vrionides' side, no. But a couple of things. So first of all, we've got a Cypriot coach managing a top team abroad.
Yeah.
We've got Ilias Haralambos. We didn't mention it last week because we ran out of time. But we've got Ilias Haralambos is at Steaua Bucharest.
Second division. They're third.
Not second division.
Yeah, I think so. Aren't they second?
No, they're in the top division.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in.
Is it the other Steaua? Okay, so the other one. Sorry.
FCSB, not the, because
not
they
the
split, and one of them was able to keep the full name, and the other one had to go with this FCSB crap. But anyway, yeah. So he's been in charge for 2 games. He hasn't lost one yet. But I mean, the 2 teams he's played is second place, and they drew. And the other team they played was basically the Romanian league's version of Omonia, the 6th place team that's too far away from all the other teams to be able to impact on the league there. But yeah, so that's one thing. Very good. Haralambos representing. Another representative, this time in the Premier League.
Okay. Go on.
So we finally get another representative in the Premier League, and he does the most Gibreo thing imaginable. Right? Imagine Robertson. So this is for people who have been hiding under a rock for the last week. Basically, one of the assistant referees in the Liverpool Man United?
No, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Liverpool Arsenal. In the Liverpool Arsenal game was a Cypriot linesman, and Robertson at half time decided to go approach the linesman and actually grabbed him kind of from the back on the arm, kind of here-ish, didn't he? And so his name is Konstantinos Hagidakis, right? And I just imagine him going, "Fiaule mavre, ai hijo." And he went like that. Like, one, he was surprised, and two, doesn't want to hear it. He says, "Fiaule mavre, ai hijo." Got Robertson on the chin. And everybody's lost their goddamn minds. Like, you've got Liverpool fans and some other people who are like, he should be banned, kick him out, never be a referee again, he should be gone. And then you've got people on the other side of the coin, like Roy Keane, going like, Robertson should be banned, he shouldn't be touching the assistant referee. Now, before I go into my opinion, what do you think?
I think it's been blown out of proportion, to be honest, because I don't think he intentionally elbowed him in the face. I don't think, like, because if you watch it again, it's not as if he looked over his shoulder and caught him with an elbow. He felt someone grabbing him. And look, let's get it right here, okay? At the risk of being tormented online by Liverpool fans, you know, because some of them can be like a little bit of a cult, you know. Robertson has got previous. He is a gobby shite. Right? He's a gobby cunt. Let's just put it that way, right? And he was probably giving it in. The linesman could probably hear him from 5-10 yards away. And because he ignored him, Robertson thought, I'm a Premier League player. I play for Liverpool. I can do what I want. So he's gone to grab the referee, and the referee's just done that. Yeah? All right. So what? Robertson's short, and he's caught him in the jaw. Okay? The guy didn't go down like a sack of spuds, to his credit. He didn't go rolling around holding his face like a lot of Premier League footballers do. But all of a sudden, I'm seeing people on television saying, "Oh, the referee, the linesman needs to be banned for good." Well, hang about. We saw Mitrovic push a referee; he gets an 8-game ban. We saw Di Canio push a referee many years ago, push the guy to the ground. Yeah,
he got a 12-game ban.
He got a 12-game ban. Okay, fine. If you're going to ban the referee, ban him. But don't turn around and say, "Oh, you need to ban him for good. He can't referee ever again," which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay, because as far as I'm concerned, I think it's good that a referee was able to defend himself, because we see Premier League players, and players in general, crowding around referees, trying to influence them, trying to intimidate them, trying to antagonize them. And because you know what? For me, if I'm walking down the street and someone's about to mug me, right, and they grab my arm and I swing my arm back, it's self-defense. Why are you putting your hands on an official? Yeah. I thought the Premier League rule, the respect rule, the campaign that they did many years ago, was only the captain is allowed to talk to the referee. Well, that rule's gone out the window. So okay, so he did that. If Robertson was 6'4", 6'5", he'd have caught him in the stomach, it'd have been nothing. But because he caught him in the face and Robson stood there like a deer in headlights, what the fuck just happened? It's bullshit, man. It's bullshit.
Okay. All right. I wasn't expecting it to because my thinking of it is a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think it's a bit of both. I think they're both fucked up. Because you're not going to go up to an assistant referee and grab him by the shoulder and mouth off, because you're not supposed to. So he should get hit with whatever he's supposed to get hit. He's fine, ban, whatever. Right? Same time, it probably did, like, he wasn't expecting it, and self-defense and everything. But at the same time, he's supposed to be in an elite competition, so he's supposed to not react. Like referees. You've seen them; they don't react because the whole point is they're trying to calm down the situation. And if you react normally, you end up exacerbating things. There's like the handbags at 10 paces that you hear a lot of the time. The whole thing about more footballers getting involved when one and the other goes off and does whatever. So they're not supposed to react. So he should also have a ban, say like 3-4 games, whatever, right? They're both at fault. That's what my thinking is. But just so he knows, right? Just so Konstantinos Hagidakis knows, we need refs in Gibraltar who would probably be like, fuck off if any of the players get a bit too close. Because as we know, things get a bit crazy. So imagine if the Nea Salamina fans tried to spit at this guy. Yeah? He'd just end up climbing into the stand, knocking a couple of the fuckers out.
The thing is, right, what I will say though, again, in the linesman's defense, right, it's half time. You're walking to the halfway line. There's a lot of noise around you. Maybe it's just an instinctive thing where someone goes to grab your arm. When someone grabs your arm, you're gonna do something like. And that, I don't think it was planned for him to elbow. I don't think 10 minutes into the game, maybe Robertson was giving him a bit of this, and he thought, at half time, you come near me, I'm going to elbow you. I highly doubt it, right? But the fact, again, it wasn't premeditated, like for example, with Mitrovic when he pushed the referee. The referee's shown a red card to the player for a handball on the line. He's shown the head coach a red card, right? And Mitrovic, right, has pushed him. It was not as if it was an accident. He shoved him deliberately, so he got his marching orders. But with this, it wasn't like, I highly doubt the linesman thought, you wait till halftime, Robertson, when I'm walking up the line and then walking towards the centre circle while you're supposed to be walking back. I'm guessing you're going to come and try and grab me by the halfway line, and then I'm going to plant the... No, it's just instinct. It's like anything.
Yeah.
So I just think he's been blown out of proportion because it was a Premier League team. If it happened in Azerbaijan, or if it happened in Latvia, if it happened in Timbuktu, no one would care. No one would care. But it's a Premier League player. It's Andrew Robertson. He plays for Liverpool, Champions League winner.
I'd just say as well, it might have been premeditated because remember, Robertson's the one who crossed it in for McGinn to score the first goal.
Oh, okay.
When Scotland played Gibraltar.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, and listen, I don't know the linesman. I don't know him at all, to be honest. But I don't think he'll know anything about Cypriot football. In all fairness,
obviously, I'm joking.
He's probably sitting there going Megofti, whatever.
Yeah.
But oh Jesus! Anyway,
right.
I think we're done.
One more thing.
Yes.
One more thing is quite important. Greek Cup final.
Okay.
Greek Cup final. So,
Gadastasi.com.
It's amazing. So, the obviously Gumas and the Greek version of Gumas got together and decided to stroke each other's dick for a little bit, and we're like, yeah, we'll sort it out, no problem. Everything's great. You do me, I do you. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. So obviously that happened for like we knew that the Greek FA Cup final was going to be at the Rasibi for how long? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And last week, the Greek FA finally sent a letter to the Cypriot FA to request officially that the Greek Cup final happen at the Rasibi. So the Cypriot FA obviously wrote in response, we don't think it's a problem, but maybe we need to bring the Cypriot police in to make sure that it's not a problem, because it can't go ahead unless the Cyprus police says it can go ahead. Now, today, guess what?
Well, I know, but...
No.
Okay, I'll pretend that I don't know. Pretend that I don't know.
Yeah.
What happened?
The Cypriot police do not agree that it's a good idea for the Greek FA Cup final to happen in Cyprus. That's what.
And you know what? And you know what, right? And you know what? There is so much irony in this, right? Because these people, if the Cypriot police have common sense, if they show common sense, that must show you how stupid this fucking situation is.
It's like everybody on comment sections on all the news since it came out that they were discussing, never mind confirming, that they were discussing that they were going to have the match at the Recipe. Everybody's been saying what a fucking stupid idea it is. And it took the Cypriot police to be like, lads, it's a fucking stupid idea. Like in the kind of the response, they said that they don't agree to the game due to concerns of maintaining public order and the safety of citizens. Like, there you go, straight out the horse's mouth. That's the saying, right? Horse's mouth, straight out the horse's mouth. There you go. Yeah.
Well, one of the finalists will be AEK Athens, and I'm guessing the other one will be BAOK, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The game is also being organised is it the day of elections or the day before elections as well in Greece?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's again, anybody from the Greek FA would like to contact me to confirm that I'm an idiot. Otherwise, everything like Greek football at the moment is a shower.
Yep.
It's a mess. Greek FA at me, at Flares Gaffers, at me.
Well, we haven't spoken about Boris Clayman, but we're not going to go into that because he's been a naughty boy.
He's been a naughty boy, but
naughty boy, and I think there's a point of no return for him. But mate, we've done close to 2 hours.
Yeah,
wow.
Let's sign it off. Like I said, there was a lot to talk about off the field.
Yes, more off than on it. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are having. Well, I would say we're having a break. We've got another guest interview coming up very, very shortly. That should be released hopefully beginning of next week, and we're trying to get Manu Garcia back on the pod. Maybe he can do a review with us, or maybe we can do another interview or something along those lines. We're going to try and get more and more guests on. There's going to be more emphasis on British Cypriot footballers able to qualify for the national team. We're going to do more pods relating to that. We've got more people interested. We had a really good response, to be honest, with our last show with Costandino. So onwards and upwards for This Is Mappa. We're not going anywhere, so we're going to be that pain in your ass. So no preparation H needed. That's all. Plug your shit.
Preparation H asses and plug my shit. Nah. I'm on the social medias. Flares Gaffes Flares. Type either one, you'll find me. I'll be there talking about Cypriot football. We've got the Facebook group for This Is Mappa as well for people that don't have Twitter or Instagram. We're dropping news items in there every so often. We've also got the This Is Mappa Instagram where Stel's pulling the bag out with all the classic goals of the day, the quizzes, the videos, all that stuff is fantastic. He's doing a fantastic job with that. Follow that, don't miss out. Stuff.
So there you go. That's it for another edition. We will see you very, very soon. Galo Pascha to everyone. Have a great Easter. Crack your eggs. Eat your souvlays. Do all the good stuff. And send me photographs of your flaunes.
Oh man,
I want to see your flaunes.
Not me. I'll come on Istia, so I can't have a flower until Sunday. So don't do that.
Okay, well,
send them to Stel. Send them to
Send them
Stel.
to me. Send them to me. So that's it, boys and girls. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.